Welcome students. I am Dr. Sujata Chaudhuri, Head of Department of Zoology, Barakpur Rashtroguru Surendranath College. Today I am going to discuss a topic that is under semester 3 of West Bengal State University CBCS syllabus, that is under chordate topic, and the topic name is chordate classification. Okay. So, as we know that today's topic is classification of Chordata. As you know, the chordates or the phylum Chordata is a large group of animals and with a huge abundance, making it the fourth most abundant phylum after Arthropoda, Nematoda and Mollusca. So, the chordate, though it is a phylum, it encompasses many type or diverse group of animals, and because of that we have to define what is a chordate. Before that, we must go to the history of arrival of chordate. So, this is the geological time scale, and now you can see that during Paleozoic era, the Cambrian period was the first period where the chordate arrived as a fish or the animal with a backbone. So, after that it flourishes in the sea, in the land and in the air. So, who are chordates? So, now we know that the many different kinds of animals are grouped under this phylum. There should be a basic structural definition that will define each of them. So, what are they? A chordate must have a dorsal hollow nerve cord. Now, you can see this yellow one, the long line at the dorsal side of this animal is the nerve cord that extends from the head to tail region. Second, a chordate must possess notochord, that is the below yellow line just below the nerve cord. This is notochord, hence the name Chordata has arrived, that is present in each of the animals. Presence of pharyngeal slits. Pharynx is the part of gut or the digestive system just beside the mouth. So, it must have the slits, and a chordate must possess a post-anal tail. So, this is the anus region, and after that the extended part should be tail region. And the fifth point is that the thyroid gland or any kind of iodine metabolizing endocrine gland like endostyle must be present in the chordates, and these characteristics may be present in any period of life cycle, means it can be present during the larval stage or in the adult stage or in either or conditions. So, this is the defining characteristics of the phylum Chordata. In most of the cases, the classification of the Chordata is based upon the book Life of Vertebrates by J.G. Young in 1981. According to that, the phylum Chordata is divided into 3 subphylum, that is Subphylum Cephalochordata and Subphylum Urochordata, and the third one is Subphylum Vertebrata. Again, there was one subphylum, that is Subphylum Hemichordata, that once was supposed to be inside this phylum Chordata, but nowadays it is considered as the junctional non-chordate animal that have been excluded from phylum Chordata. So, phylum Chordata now has 3 subphylum: Cephalochordata, Urochordata and Vertebrata. Again, this subphylum Cephalochordata and Urochordata are together is called proto-chordates because they arrived first, then Vertebrata. So, subphylum Cephalochordata and subphylum Urochordata, it is also called Tunicata, consists of 3 classes: class Acidiacea, class Thaliacea and class Appendicularia. Again, subphylum Vertebrata or the Craniata, that because we are, consists of 2 superclasses. One is Agnatha, another is Gnathostomata. So, the phylum Vertebrata or Craniata means the animals who have vertebral column or the cranium or the brain box that protects our brain. So, under subphylum there is 2 superclasses, that is Agnatha. Gnathos means jaws, A means legs. So, animals without gnathos or jaws are included inside this superclass. Under this superclass there is one class, that is Cephalosporomorphi. Then the superclass Gnathostomata, gnathos means jaw and stomata means mouth. So, animals bearing jaws in their mouths, again divided into 6 classes that we are mostly known about, that is class Chondrichthyes, sharks, class Osteichthyes, all the bony fishes, class Amphibia, that is frogs, toads, class Reptilia, snakes and lizards, class Aves, that is birds, and class Mammalia, that we are. Now, going into the details of the classification. So, the first protochordate subphylum is Cephalochordata. The fossil record is dated back in the Cambrian period, where there is one fossil called Picaia that resemble the today's Cephalochordates, and today all the modern oceans are inhabited by the Amphioxus or the Branchiostoma. That is a single kind of animal under Cephalochordata. The body of the Amphioxus or Branchiostoma is elongated. This is a small animal. It is elongated, tapering at the both sides. It is segmented. It has a dorsal hollow nerve cord, a notochord, and its pharynx has gill slits. You can see there are numerous piercing in the pharynx region. Then after the anus region there is a post-anal tail, and yes, the Amphioxus do have an endostyle, that is thyroid resembling or the iodine metabolizing endocrine gland. So, Amphioxus or Branchiostoma, both a scientific name for a single animal, have all the chordate characteristics. The next protochordate is subphylum Tunicata or Urochordata. So, why this name? Tunicata because these kind of animal which are marine, they live in the sea, they are sessile because they cannot move or float, they are attached to a substratum. Their body is surrounded by a cover called test or tunic. So, tunic or test is composed of a protein and complex carbohydrate like cellulose, that is called tunicine, hence the name is Tunicata. In larval conditions, all type of tunicates have all the chordate characters mentioned before, like they have the nerve cord, notochord, they have tail, endostyle and the pierced pharynx. But in most of the cases, the adult form become attached to a substratum and loses all their chordate characteristics. Now, why Urochordates? Because their notochord is extended up to their tail region during larval condition. That is why they are called Urochordata. Uroid means the tail region. So, the phylum Chordata, as we have known so far, this is divided into Subphylum, Tunicata or Urochordata, that encompasses all the tunicates in the sea, is divided into 3 classes: Acidiacea, all the sea squirts. These kind of animals make a fountain of water, so it is named so, sea squirts. This is under class Acidiacea. Then the second class is Thaliacea. All the salps are included under this class, and the third one is the Appendicularia. All type of larvaceans, that animals that remain as a larval form throughout their life, are included in the class Appendicularia. So, these 3 classes, that is class Acidiacea, the example of one of the example is Acidia. Thaliacea, there is one bioluminescent animal, that is Pyrosoma. Doliolaria, Salpa, they are under class Thaliacea, and Appendicularia or Larvacea contains the animals like Oikopleura. So, these are the pictures of the animals just told by me. This is the Acidia, the beautiful animal with 2 opening. This again a colonial sea squirts. The before one was the solitary one that remain in single condition, but this is the colony of sea squirts. This is the Thaliacean animal Pyrosoma. It has a peculiar ability to bioluminescence in the night of the sea, and Oikopleura that remain throughout their life in this kind of larval condition. So, these are all for protochordates. Now, coming to the subphylum vertebrata, that is the animals that contains the vertebral column and the cranium. The first superclass under vertebrata is Agnatha. So, gnathos is jaw and Agnatha means animals without jaw. The classification of Agnatha tells us that this superclass contains only one alive class, that is Cephalospidomorpha. Under the Cephalospidomorpha there is one order, that is Cyclostomata. So, stomata means mouth and cyclo means round. So, the animals are having a round mouth. Under order Cyclostomata there are 2 suborder, one is Myxinoidea, another is Petromyzontidae. As I have already told that there are mainly 2 types of animals in this group. One is Petromyzontidae, they are called Petromyzon or lampreys. There are voracious parasite and they can attack very large kind of animals and suck their flesh and blood. They have a larval stage called Ammocetes. Another animal, that is Myxinoidea, it contains the myxines or the hagfishes. They are scavengers, they feed on the dead bodies. So, this is the picture of Petromyzon or lamprey under suborder Petromyzontidae. You can see that this round mouth is bordered by a series of lips and the lips is provided with sharp teeth. They also have a rasping tongue so that they can suck a large animal and can eat the flesh and blood out of their body. So, now you can see that a large fish is attacked by lampreys, and wherever these fish will go, the Petromyzon will continue the preying upon that fish. The myxine, another kind of Agnatha, also have a sucker-like mouth, but it is not parasitic as Petromyzon, rather it scavenges the dead bodies, and it has a peculiar ability to knot with its body. So, this knotting ability increases their leverage to burrow inside a dead fish or dead body, and it also produces a large amount of slime. The next superclass under vertebrates is the Gnathostomata. So, gnathos is jaw, stomata means mouth. So, animals with jaws are included in this superclass. So, the first class under Gnathostomata is Chondrichthyes or the sharks and rays. So, classification of Chondrichthyes here is based upon Romer 1962, as the classification by Young is too hard to grasp, it is very elaborate. So, we have taken the classification by Romer. According to that, the phylum Chordata under subphylum Vertebrata has superclass Gnathostomata. Under Gnathostomata, the class Chondrichthyes is divided into two subclasses. One is Elasmobranchi, another is Holocephaly. Under Elasmobranchi, there are two orders, Cephalochordata, that is all kind of sharks, and order Batoidea, that is rays. Under Holocephaly, there is only one order, that is Chimerae. The general characteristics of sharks, as we all know, the sharks or the Chondrichthyes, chondro means cartilage, ichthyes means fishes, they are cartilaginous fishes, they have a very strong jaws, they have paired fins, paired nares of the nostrils, and their body is covered with the placoid scales. Now, subclass Elasmobranchi has two orders, order Cephalochordata that contains all kind of sharks, and order Batoidea, that is all kind of rays. The sharks, as we know, they are very active swimmers, they have a streamlined body, they have a serrated pointed teeth because they are voracious predator. Example is Scoliodon or Squalus. Order Batoidea, it is very peculiar because they are bottom dweller, and because of that they have a flat disc shaped body, and this body is formed by the pectoral fins that fuse with their head. The stingray, one of the most prominent rays, carries a jagged edge spine on whip that can they attack on any type of predator, and the electric ray, another type of prominent animal, they can administer several shock by producing electricity from their block of muscles. So, those kind of rays are included. So, these are the pictorial representation of sharks and rays. We know the whale shark is very large, white shark, dogfish. Okay. So, these column represents the sharks portion, that is the Cephalochordata, and this right side contains all kind of rays, that is sting rays, electric rays, and the guitar fish. The guitar fish is not called rays, but they are called scates because they have a pointed elongated rostrum in their head. So, they are not blunt round shaped like rays, but they are pointed rostrum like appendages. That is why they look like guitar and also called guitar fish. Now, the second subclass, that is Holocephaly, has one order, that is Chimerae. Chimerae means they look like the fusion of two animals, that is rat fish, they look like rat, elephant fish, somewhat they have a proboscis like elongation, that is why they call elephant fish, and this is the rabbit fish, it looks like rabbit, that is why the naming. So, that is all for the Chondrichthyes. Now, coming to the Osteichthyes. So, osteo means bones, ichthys means fish. So, all kind of bony fishes are included in this class. Again, we are using the classification of Roman 1962. According to this classification, the superclass Gnathostomata has class Osteichthyes that has two subclasses, Actinopterygi and Sarcopterygi. Under subclass Sarcopterygi, there are two orders, Dipnoi and Crossopterygi. The general characteristics of any kind of fish is that they have a swim-like body for the purpose of swimming, and they have paired fins. Exoskeleton is made up of bones. They have swim bladder. The Chondrichthyes do not have any swim bladder, but Osteichthyes have swim bladder that help them to float in the water. Their gills remain covered by operculum, and the body is basically covered by dermal scales like ganoid, cosmoid, cycloid, ctenoid. Now, the first subclass Actinopterygi, that means ray finned fishes. If we pull out the fish fins with our hand, we can see this kind of sun rays like pattern. These are called rays. That is why these fishes are called ray finned fishes or Actinopterygi. Subclass Sarcopterygi has a lobed fins, and these fins are much muscular. They can use their fins as a limbs or as a projecting appendages. Under this Sarcopterygi, there is order Dipnoi. Dipnoi means double breathing. So, they can breathe inside the water or outside the water. The main three prominent dipnoan fishes are Protopterus in Africa, Lepidosiren in South America, and Neoceratodus in Australia. Their swim bladder is modified into a lung-like structure, so they are capable of breathing air. So, they are found in a hot, humid places where in summer the ponds may get dried. So, they have to move from one pond to another pond in search of water and has to cross a land in between. So, that is why they need a lung-like structure to breathe air and to find out another pond. Okay. This is very important order Crossopterygi, and coelacanth or Latimeria is the only single surviving candidate under this order. It was many years it was believed that coelacanth has been extinct, but in between some years they have been found in deep oceanic shelves. They have very low metabolic rate. Their vision is impaired because those are very dark areas in the sea, and they really do not need any vision. So, coelacanth or the Latimeria is the sole candidate under order Crossopterygi. That is all for the bony fishes. Now, coming to the land. So, it is believed that Tiktaalik was a fish that moved from the water into the land to roam around sometime, and that becomes the today's Amphibia. So, Amphibia is the amphi means both, bias means living. They can live both in water and land, and the classification is the class Amphibia contains only living subclass, that is Lees Amphibia. Under that there are three orders. Anura or Cephalochordata means the frogs and toads. Order Chordata or Urochordata, that means salamanders, and orders Gymnofauna or Apoda, that contains all type of caecilians. So, order Urodela or Chordata, that means they have chorda means tail, all kind of salamanders, Cryptobanchus, siren, ambystoma, they have the axolotl larva, a peculiar characteristics. They are included in these orders. The aquatic salamanders are also called newts. The most prominent order is Salentia or Anura, that is frogs and toads. Frogs, basic difference between frogs and toads are that frogs have a very smooth skin without a parotid gland. Toads have warty skins with elevated parotid gland. They have web between digits. This is the midwife toad protecting its eggs in the rear end, and this is the tree frog, that is Hyla. The order Gymnophiona or Apoda, Apoda means there is no limb, so they are limbless amphibians. All type of Sicilians are included in this order. They live in burrows in the damp tropical habitat, look much like earthworm. So, that is all for Amphibia. Now, coming to the land animals, they are Reptilia. So, classification of Reptilia, because of that the Amphibia needs to go back to the water to lay eggs, but that binding is lost in Reptilia. The Reptilia can lay eggs in the land and need not to go back to the water. So, the class Reptilia has three subclass Anapsida. This is the most primitive order, that is Chelonia. All the turtles and the tortoises are included, order Chelonia. Second subclass is Lepidosauria, under that order Rhynchocephalia and order Squamata, or the snakes and the lizards are included. Then subclass Archosauria, that contains all kind of crocodiles under order Crocodilia. So, order Chelonia consists of the turtles and tortoises. Basic difference between turtles and the tortoises is that turtles are aquatic, marine, and tortoises are the land animals. So, they are the most primitive reptiles. Then order Rhynchocephalia or Cephalia. Under this order only a single species belongs, that is Phenodon or Tuatara. They are only found in the islands of the New Zealand and they are very much endemic to that places. These orders Squamata, they are very popular and prominent because all type of snakes and lizards are included under this order. Again, if we can divide this order into suborders, we know that suborder Ophidia, Ophios means snakes. So, suborder Ophidia contains all kind of snakes. This is a beautiful picture of black mamba. The suborder Lacertilia, that is lizards. This is the chameleon, all kind of snakes and lizards are included. The last and the most recent reptiles are crocodiles. So, order Crocodilia includes all type of crocodiles, be it alligator, cayman, crocodiles, marsh crocodiles or gavialis, that is gharial, or all are included under the order Crocodilia. So, if we go back to the geologic time scale, we can see that though the mammals arrived at the time of Triassic, but as we know that Triassic, Jurassic and the Cretaceous, these three periods were dominated by dinosaurs, the most ferocious, voracious reptiles, so that the mammals that arrived in the Triassic period, that is before Jurassic, could not explore or flourish too well because they were predated very much by the dinosaurs. Once the Cretaceous extinction begins and all the dinosaurs were wiped out, that was the time when the mammals began to flourish and the first primates arrived. So, after that Cretaceous period, the era of mammals started. So, from the reptiles, two classes diverged. One is sauropsids, from there the crocodiles and the birds derived. Another is synapsids, from that the mammals were originated. So, the class Aves, they were diverged from the sauropsids reptiles, and all the birds are included in the class Aves. We all know that birds are feathered biped. So, their forelimbs is modified as wings. They have unique feathers. They do not have any teeth in their jaws and they have pneumatic bones, and for all of that they can fly in the air. The classification of the Aves tells us that the class Aves contains only one subclass, that is Neornithes. Another subclass, that is Archaeornithes, contained the famous Archaeopteryx, but they all are extinct now. So, all the modern living birds are included on the subclass Neornithes. It has two superorder, one is Paleognathi. So, Paleognathi contains the Ratites, running birds, and superorder Neognathi, all the Carinati, that is flying birds. There are 28 orders of modern birds. I am not showing all of them. This is a famous Ratite or the running birds, that is ostrich. Again, apart from ostrich, there are cassowary, emu, and then kiwi. They are also included under this group, that is Ratite or running bird. These are the flying bird or Carinati. All kind of flying birds are included in this group. Now, the synapsid reptiles gave birth to the class Mammalia. After the dinosaur extinction, the Mammalia started flourish in the earth. So, this is the basic classification of Mammalia. The class mammals or Mammalia is divided into two subclasses, Prototheria and the Theria. The general characteristics is that the name suggests the mammary gland, is because of that the Mammalia name comes, that provide the milk for the young babies. Another two glands, that is integumentary glands, sweat gland that help in thermoregulations, and sebaceous glands that help in oiling of our skin and hair, are also present in the mammals. The mammals has a unique characteristics of hair that help in insulation and thermal regulations, and they also they are lost secondarily in the aquatic mammals. The mammals do have external pinna or the ear, but they are also absent in aquatic mammals. So, the first subclass of Mammalia is Prototheria. Proto means first. The first placental animals, they are not placental actually, they are egg laying, only egg laying mammals. They are like reptiles ancestors. These are order Monotremata that contains the dark-billed platypus and the echidna. So, this is order Monotremata that contains only two type of animals, echidna and dark-billed platypus. This is the platypus protecting its eggs. The subclass 2, that is Theria, gives all kind of birth to living young. They do not lay eggs. but they have all the characteristics to protect their babies. So, subclass Theria is subdivided into two living infraclasses. One is Metatheria. So, Metatheria is the pouched or marsupial animals. They produce live youngs, but they have a yolk sac placenta and their youngs are immaturely born. So, they need further protection and are kept in the marsupium of females. So, they are the examples of marsupials like opossums, kangaroo, koala. This is the picture of water marsupialia. You can see the babies are protected inside the pouch of mother, that is called marsupium. There they are nourished and help in their transport. The next infraclass is Eutheria or true type of placental animals. These youngs are born as a miniature adult. They are born in relative advanced stage, so they do not need a prolonged nourishment or the protection from mother. Their brain is highly developed, especially the cerebral hemisphere part. This infraclass contains around 18 orders. These are some of the representative orders, that is order Pholidota. All the anteaters are included. Order Cingulata, that is armadillo. The mammals also flourished in the air, so order Dermoptera, flying lemurs. They can glide from one tree to the another tree with their skinny wings. Order Cheiroptera, that is bats. There are two kinds of bats, Megacheiroptera and Microcheiroptera. They can navigate in the air. So, mammals also flourished in the ocean or the water. Order Sirenia, the manatee and the dugong, sea cows are included in this order. The order Cetacea, all kind of whales, dolphins, porpoises, they roam in the ocean, they are the king of the ocean. So, mammals are also covered this part, and the land mammals. They are huge, they are everywhere, they are abundant. This is the order Tubulidentata, example aardvark. Order Lagomorpha, all kind of rabbits, hares are included in this order. Order Rodentia, like rats, mouse, guinea pigs. Order Hyracoidea, that is hyrax. And our order, that is order primates, all kind of lemurs, monkeys, apes. We are also apes, humans are included in this order primates. Now, order Proboscidea, that is the animals having proboscis. Example elephants, there are only two kinds of elephants, African, that is called Loxodonta africana, and the Indian elephants, that is Elephas maximus. These are grazing animals. Order Artiodactyla means they are even-toed animals, included pig, hippo, camel, giraffe, all kind of deer, cows, ox, sheep, goats, and the odd-toed animals, that is order Perissodactyla. So, horses, donkeys, rhinoceros, kiang, all wild ass, they are included in this order, that is Perissodactyls. And the last and the most famous order, that is Carnivora, all kind of carnivores like big cats, dogs, bears, they are included. They are the highest predator or the topmost layer of the food chain. They are included in the order Carnivora. So, that is all for the class Mammalia. These are my references, and thank you for listening.